Hello everybody, and thank you for clicking on this YouTube video / podcast download. This is the What's This podcast. Hopefully when you clicked on this you were thinking, ooh, what's this? It's a podcast and it's us. So just to introduce yourself, my name is John and I'm joined by
Jim
and
Ethan
and
Ronnie.
So the purpose of this podcast is literally just to talk about anything really. We've decided on a certain topic for this week's podcast as it's our first podcast. But before you go any further, if you are listening to this on YouTube, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the like button if you like it. Any comments you'd like to add as you're listening, please do so. We're happy for all feedback. And if you are listening to this on a podcast, just, I don't know, like what do you do on a podcast?
I know,
subscribe?
Just
subscribe.
Like, download it and keep it for life.
Yeah, you do a subscription type thing.
Like
It depends what you're listening to, what your audio player is, where you find your podcast. Anyway, so today's topic for our first podcast, we decided on, and I have no idea how we landed on it, but it's movie franchises. I think we got into this because when we started setting up what we were going to talk about, as a laugh, I said, why don't we talk about Star Wars and how shit it is? And I instantly got beaten down by my other
it's 3 against 1 there.
my other 3 compadres because they really love it. So I thought, well, let's talk about that then. Not necessarily Star Wars, but in general, like movie franchises.
That's it. Cool.
Yeah. So I suppose my first question on movie franchises would be, what generally constitutes a franchise? So this isn't movies as in, oh, what's the best movie, or oh, this is the best sequel, or this is the best remake, whatever. But a movie franchise is quite an ambiguous term.
Well, to me, franchise would be a set of movie, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
So like Harry Potter is a franchise because it's like 8 consecutive
Where
movies.
you draw the line though, is the Expendables a franchise because there's 3 films?
I would say, yeah.
I suppose, it would be classed as a franchise, yeah. I suppose more than one film of a movie is classed as a franchise.
So if there's 2 films, it's a franchise.
I think any more than 2. Got to
So
be more than 2.
Minimum of 3.
For me, minimum of 3.
Yeah.
Because you've got, otherwise it's movie and sequel.
Yeah,
But you would say movie, sequel.
Yeah, to me, it's got to be 3 movies, and or like other shit that goes along with it, like TV shows, or like spin-off cartoon series, or animated shows, or comic books, or toys.
Well, that's why
the
the MCU is a universe, because it is cartoons, TV shows.
It's big. That's big. That's got
films,
that
comics.
Is that the biggest, or is
talking
Star
about
Wars?
the biggest? Actually, I do have a list here of the.
All right, chill out. Can we talk about it first? I think yes. I think it is the biggest franchise.
It's not.
It could be Star Wars, but I think it might be MCU. Go.
It's not.
Well, talking about the biggest, then I have actually a list of the top 10 biggest high-grossing films of all time. So there are 10 films, 10 franchises that have made the most
franchises
money.
or films.
Franchises,
right? Okay.
have made the most money, and I was wondering if you could get any of them 10.
So
Any
obviously
of them. I reckon
MCU.
all of them.
Do you want to list them in order that you think?
Yes.
Okay.
In order, or do we just shout them out and see if they're in there? Because we're never going to.
Well, let's guess for the top spot.
Top 3.
I think you're going to have Harry Potter, MCU, and Star Wars. I think are the biggest ones. You're probably going to have to put Avatar in there next year or the year after.
It will be. That will be big.
Because
granted,
that was the highest grossing film for a long time until they did Endgame, and
But
then.
would you class Avatar as a franchise?
Well, it
will
will.
film.
No, it's going to be 3 because the film.
Yeah, but it's
2.
not at the minute.
No, that's why I said next year.
But just to clarify as well, when we're talking,
right now.
Yeah, it was a throwaway comment. Yeah.
when we're talking biggest, we're talking about grossing, not in number, because that's different.
Yeah, the one that's made grossing is the franchise that's made the most money.
So I think
time.
Yeah.
So what your number one is going to be Marvel.
I would think.
Realistically,
I don't know, Marvel.
see, I think Star Wars.
If you take into account like toys and revenue from that, and the gross profit they made from those sort of things, then yeah, definitely without a doubt, Star Wars.
Although I was going to say you've got to think of the Clone Wars series and Mandalorian and
But
stuff
you're
like
not-
that. But you've also then got to take Daredevil into account and Luke Cage and all of that. Shit.
Realistically, your only thing you're looking at, because we're talking grossing, it's money. You don't really have to pay for any of those series.
No,
over
but
here,
they'll make revenue.
They'll
From
make
Netflix,
revenue
won't they?
from them, but I think grossing, you got what, 22, 23 films in MCU?
Go on then, hit us with the top 3.
It's got to be MCU.
So you want the top 3? There's 10. But
Right.
Give us the top 3 and then we'll throw a few out there. See what's
Okay, so
getting on.
number 1 is Marvel.
Yeah, nice.
Number 2 is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Harry
Plot.
Potter.
Yeah.
Okay.
4, I was actually quite shocked at.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Give us a hold on. Give us a clue. How many films are in the franchise? Do you know?
How many? I know all of them in the 4. Of all the films.
No, but okay.
Okay.
So
Is
it's
it
not
then?
DC. It's not DC.
It's a big franchise.
It's not DC, is it?
No, but
Good.
that is in the list.
Yeah.
It's just where.
Yeah. Down the bottom.
It
Down
is
the
a big
bottom.
franchise.
Yeah.
Well, so you say DC. I mean, do you class like? I mean, Batman is DC, but Batman I've seen classed as his own franchise.
So on the list, it's actually DC Extended Universe.
I was going to say it's
Yeah,
DCEU, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Because the Batman films were fucking massive.
Well, the 3 with
Bale.
so Begins, Batman
Returns.
Begins,
Oh, Batman Begins,
Yeah.
Dark Knight
Dark
Rises.
Knight.
They were the
Rises.
3
Yeah,
biggest
They were
Batman
the 3
films
biggest
ever.
ones and the best ones, to be honest. But
But yeah, they're the top 3. So if you can guess the 4th, I'll be well shocked.
You like it? It's one of your favourites.
No, but I was shocked that it was in the list. I wasn't, but I was when I seen it.
is it Fast and Furious?
No, but that is in the list.
What about
That's in the
James Bond?
What's that?
James Bond.
Yes. How did you get that? Yeah.
Good work, Lawson.
Well, again, considering the number of films that have come out,
Well,
for that,
exactly. Yes, and it's been around for
and
years.
it's been around for
And it's absolute bollocks.
It's not though, is it?
Oh, James Bond is
Bond is
so
brilliant.
shit. It was great. It's great to watch, like Roger Moore being Roger Moore. Like Roger Moore. It's brilliant. It's great to watch Sean
Why
Connery.
did you do a
being
Sean
Bond.
Connery accent for Roger Moore?
Excuse me. That was Roger Moore. Sean Connery would be like that.
Oh, really?
It's great. I like watching the old ones because they're so cheesy and they're brilliant to watch because it's that Sunday afternoon sort of bank holiday Monday. Stick on Octopussy. Stick on Octopussy. Enjoy yourself.
Kids might listen to this. How dare you?
Right, so
But it's so tired now. It's like get over
no,
yourself.
I
Bobby.
don't think. I don't.
It's
Know.
like, just not bored with it. It's like they're just like Mission Impossible films, which I don't mind again.
They're going to
but
be in
just-
there as
they're
well,
just
by the way.
mindless action.
Mission Impossible
It's
are going
like
to be
they're
in there.
not what they were,
Is it?
and they make a big deal out of, oh, who's going to be the next Bond? Who's going to be the next Bond girl?
Because it's such
No
a
one
British
gives
thing
a
now. It's a
shit.
big British franchise, and everyone in Britain loves it.
No, they don't.
Not
They
every-
do.
I
I
mean,
think
clearly
it's
not
like-
everyone.
Clearly not everyone,
Yeah,
but I
clearly
love
not
it.
everyone,
I think it's brilliant.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, I love the films, and I never get to the cinema to watch them. Though I wait till they come out on TV.
I have to say, there's one that I did enjoy. We went cinema to watch it. and it
Quantum of
was
Solace,
Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Skyfall
film.
was okay.
But that was all Sam Mendes. That was all Sam Mendes. In the way he split that film from everything in the beginning was quite new, and then the whole film was almost about Bond going out of season. It was like him getting old and getting a bit too like old in the tooth. And then the second half of that film was everything was dead old. He was set in that old house. He was driving his DB5. Everything was old fashioned, and he was using a double barrel shotgun. If you look at it, if you ever watch it again, it's like it was almost split into 2 films, and that was dead clever. But that was Sam Mendes being Sam Mendes, I suppose.
Right, so we've got the top 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Now we just need 5.
Honourable mentions
Five,
then.
six.
Let's just throw out some honourable mentions.
Well, let's-
So obviously Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious are going to be in
Where
there.
would you suggest?
I mean,
'Cause I don't
personally,
like Fast
I
and
think
Furious.
they're awful
The
films.
first few were
All
brilliant,
right.
but they just go on.
No, I think I'm going to argue there and say
And they're
the
too
first,
dramatic.
the first few were crap as well.
The first
No.
3, it went to fucking hell, that was quite good. If you watch them in that order, the 4th one was like, that's actually quite good. And then the 5th one was, yeah, this is quite good. And the 6th one was like, yeah, this is all right. And then it all starts to like merge into themselves, and it all starts to like, there is a weird way. I don't know if anyone knows, if anyone could bring it up. Ronnie, you might be able to bring it up computer-wise.
J-Man, can you get that for us?
Yeah. there's an order you're supposed to watch them in, I think, that makes more sense. Like Tokyo Drift is supposed to come a bit later on.
Tokyo Drift should never have been made. It's bloody awful.
So
That's my favourite one. My favourite one is Tokyo Drift.
No way.
I love
Yeah.
you, Ronnie, because you're so contrarian. Can we just say that of all of us here, let's just take a poll here, because there is an argument that reigns and has been reigning for the last 7 years probably. Where do you stand on spoilers?
I can't
Are we
stand
talking
them.
car,
Ethan, where do you stand on spoilers?
No.
Hates them. Where do you
Yeah.
stand on spoilers?
car or film?
Oh, shut up. That was
Tokyo
awful.
Drift is where we've just
Well,
come
that's
from. You
true,
saw
yeah.
the Japanese cars.
All right, I'll allow that.
If it's a film we're not going to watch.
I said
No,
no,
no, film of the year, or let's say, a Game of Thrones, and it's like, what's happening in the season of Game of Thrones?
I don't mind it. If it's someone
If
actually
someone's already
seen
seen it and there's synopsis of
then
the...
I don't like that.
No. Ronnie, where do you stand on spoilers?
Oh, I hate them. I actually hate them.
It's dead all the way through 6 cents.
Yeah,
No,
just
I like spoilers.
Ronnie absolutely love spoilers.
I am pro spoilers.
Why, which are...
I mean, like Game of
Just want
Thrones.
to know what's going to happen.
Game of Thrones, I started watching and hadn't a clue what was going on, couldn't follow the cast, so I literally went and read the whole kind of backstory and figured out what was happening. And after that, it became a lot more enjoyable. I was watching how what I knew was going to happen was being portrayed on screen, rather than thinking what's going to happen next. I was actually enjoying seeing it being implemented.
I like it. Now, I absolutely disagree. I think spoilers are called spoilers for a reason. And
Well,
I think it's nice to watch it play out as the filmmaker or program maker has designed it to play out, so that the tension builds. People go to school, college, university, whatever, to learn how to build tension or to write a story. That when you watch something that does have, because I might have been one of the only knobheads that didn't know. Let's take Sixth Sense, because it's the big one, isn't it?
It's
When
the
people
big one.
talk about like a twist in the thing,
Yeah.
people always go to Sixth Sense.
They
Don't
always go to M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sixth Sense.
I didn't see that coming, so I was like, "What?"
Spoilers,
But
by
if
the
I
way.
knew it, that, even though but it does, it absolutely ruins that film its entirety.
But if it ruins the film, do you never enjoy a film second time round? Because you know what's going to happen. So how can you enjoy it second time
I
round?
love a film.
Do you want to know a fact?
Over.
I've never seen
Yeah.
Sixth Sense other than watching it at the cinema. No, but I do like. So this is the theory. So you can spoil a film by reading it or being a spoiler, and then you enjoy it, like you were saying, Ronnie, that second time round. But you're only getting it that second time round, first time round. If you watch it having known nothing about the film, you get to enjoy it with the whole gobsmacking ending or weird twist or fucking hell, didn't see that red wedding coming where everybody, spoiler alert, gets stabbed the fuck up.
I
But
think
then-
it's far enough past. We don't have to
Okay.
say spoilers.
But
Exactly.
then,
The Red Wedding. I knew the Red Wedding was
hold on,
coming.
But then watching it the second time round, I get to experiencing it the way you experienced it. So you don't get that first experience. You only
but
get the second experience.
Yeah, but then Red Wedding, I knew the Red Wedding was coming. I knew what was coming. I didn't know the exact
Exactly.
details. I didn't know every single stabbing or anything. But I sat there with my mouth open when it happened.
It takes
Can
the
we-
shine off it.
Can we go
not for
to? Yeah, not for you. You enjoyed it. Good for you. You do you.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
suppose,
that's a
When we're
segue.
talking about spoilers, I am a film spoiler because if I'm watching something like a crime thriller sort of thing,
Eating it.
well, yeah, because I will go through. So we're watching. Wife and I are watching lots of TV at the minute, and I'll be like, "That person did it because of this, this, and this," and she's like, "Shut up." She says, "Because if that's right, I'm going to be really pissed off now because I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
that's
that person."
guessing. That's not spoiling.
Well, no, it's not. If it's educated,
You
yes.
do generally have quite a good hit rate.
I am very good at figuring stuff out.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole fun with them sort of shows.
Oh, it is, but
Because you want to guess who it is.
Yeah,
Very
but-
true.
and I
So
do
if
want
you
to
knew
guess.
who it was, sitting there like you've just watched American Vandal
great
both
series.
seasons. That's what that is,
Yeah,
isn't it?
the twist at the
You're
end of
thinking,
the
oh my god, it
second
could be
series.
so and so, it could be so and so. If you knew who it was,
It's not as good.
I get that you're watching it thinking, oh no, they've missed out so. I get that because you know it was, but it's that whole each episode twists into someone else. So you're right. It's like that whole guessing. And
Yes,
it's
The
for
fun
me,
of it.
I am a spoiler because I spoil it for my wife who's watching it and at that point has no
Yeah, but you're not
idea.
actually
She deserves that,
spoiling
she
it.
married you.
You're not actually spoiling it because you're taking an educated
Oh,
guess.
I spoiled her by marrying her.
That's what's fun about that. If you actually get it right, I think. If you guess it and you've got
It's
it
not
right.
actually get it right. It's not guess. What's this guess business?
Well, you are guessing now,
It's
aren't
an
you?
educated assessment.
Yeah, sure. We know it's a guess.
So
Right, anyway, back to the franchises.
What else was
Yeah.
is-
So we're on 4, which we've got James Bond. I just
Okay.
need 5 to 10 now.
So you said Fast and Furious. That was in
they're
there.
in there. I think at the bottom somewhere.
You got to have some.
If you want
horror
Fast and
films.
Furious, then Fast and Furious is 7.
Okay.
The Saw films,
Oh yeah, good.
No,
horror
they're
ones.
not actually in the list.
but they didn't make that much money. Scream.
Paranormal activity crap.
No, no horror
Lord of the
films
Rings.
are in the list. Lord of the Rings
Lord
is
of the
5.
Rings, Ronnie. That is
Lord
a
of the Rings
solid
is
one.
5.
That is a solid one.
Yeah,
of
Lord
course
of the
it
Rings is
Shit,
5.
I did not think of that.
It's Planet of the Apes on there.
No, The Hobbit's not in there. No.
Planet of the Apes.
Well,
one,
would that see that? I would say that Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit would be
And
one
together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I'd
so
say
that's what
that's a
universe.
franchise.
That's a
isn't it? Yeah.
franchise.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that
That is
is exactly what we're
expanded
talking
universe.
about. A franchise. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Oh,
So talking about expanded universes and franchises, the biggest one I'd say is X-Men.
X-Men is a big one, yeah.
And that is actually number 6 because it just expands over everything.
See, but
really.
I was-
You've got Deadpool, which is technically X-Men.
See, I don't agree with that.
Off the list soon. That's going to disappear off the list.
Well, it's 6, so it's quite
No,
high.
but it's going to disappear off the list because Marvel now have the rights to the X-Men.
They've always had the rights.
So they've not been able to use.
No.
They weren't allowed to use the word mutant.
Oh,
Yes, Sony
yeah.
had the rights.
Yeah,
didn't they?
so-
yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
right.
now,
And
Now,
they also
actually,
had the rights
did you
to
know
Spider-Man
Disney
as
now
well,
own
didn't they?
that? So Disney now own
Yeah, exactly. So
Marvel,
it's all going to be
X-Men.
scooped up,
Wow.
retcon everything that went on in there,
True that.
especially
So
the
we've got
apocalypse.
5,
fella.
6, and 7.
It's all your fantasy stuff, isn't it? That tends
Uh,
to be.
Mad Max?
No, Mad Max isn't. No.
Really?
DC Extended Universes, we've already said that. That's 9.
I suppose with Mad Max, a lot of them films were quite early. You're talking 80s, aren't you? And I know that Fury Road was really big, and there's going to be another one apparently. But I suppose you'd need to wait until the next one came out, and then perhaps then it would start to generate.
So it's just 8 and 10.
I got it.
Go on then.
Look who's talking now. Look who's talking to.
You've never seen them, have you? Bruce Willis as a baby.
So talking about Marvel and like that rights and
DC.
stuff, you did mention one
I don't know. I say so many
that
things.
Sony owns.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's 10.
Is that how is that not classed as the Marvel universe?
Because it's
because it's
franchising
Of
itself.
course, I know it was, but it's Marvel, isn't it? 'Cause
Yes.
'cause
But
it's-
we're talking about the first 3. It's going to be the franchise.
You've got to talk about the
and then the
weird one when
Andrew
he's walking down the road.
Garfield.
Yeah.
see, in my mind, it doesn't. In my mind, anything that's a Marvel comic that got made into a film
And they've only
comes
actually got
under the Marvel
Yeah,
universe.
but
and they've
Yeah,
only
it
actually got a
doesn't.
contract with Marvel to use Spider-Man for a certain amount of films.
Yeah, he's
As soon
doing
as that
this last
contract's
one.
over, they
yeah,
can't
yeah.
use that Spider-Man anymore unless they sign a new contract.
Yeah, they'll Spider-Man.
So we've literally got them all except for 8.
Okay.
Is it an obvious
And there's
one?
no horror films on there. There's no horror
This is-
franchise. I was going
I
to say,
suppose if you first ever watched it years ago, you'd probably think it is a
Amityville would
horror
be the one.
film.
Oh,
Anything horror
I,
film.
I think
horror film.
I think I know,
Yeah,
and I think
okay.
John found it hilarious. What's the funniest film, John? What
Shit.
horror film do you find hilarious?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Go on.
What's a film that everyone thinks is really scary and you think is hilarious?
it's not,
Old.
Not,
Old? It's not Tetsuo the Iron Man, is it?
No.
it's not Freddy or something like that.
No.
Nightmare.
I wouldn't
Jason-
class it. It's not.
Jason
it's not a
Voorhees.
horror film.
Is it Halloween?
That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Go on, what are you thinking of?
But does it involve?
Oh, Silence of the
Oh,
Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs?
No. That's
No?
not a franchise,
Yeah,
is
that-
it?
yeah,
It's-
that-
It is a franchise. There's
Well,
about 4 movies in it, 5 movies in it, I
There's
think.
4 films in it.
And there's the
Yeah.
series Hannibal.
Hannibal
Yeah.
Rising.
But no,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
one.
you've got
Go on.
I wouldn't class it as a horror film, but it's like if you watched it the first time, you'd probably be like
Go on, what is it?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, Jurassic Park, of course.
We've got the 3 and then
I suppose the
And then the
first
new
one
two,
was
haven't they?
so big.
Yeah.
If you're talking about money made to get you in the top 10, this first one was absolutely like off
The
the
first
chart,
of its
wasn't it?
thing.
That was like the biggest grossing film for a very, very long time. Let's talk about Jurassic Park because that is a weird one.
well, before we go into that, I'm going to cut back to the first bit. Bryce Dallas Howard, obviously she was in the new Jurassic Parks.
Yes.
She directed an episode of Mandalorian.
Really?
Yeah, Ron Howard's daughter. Yeah,
Oh,
going back.
no,
We should
no,
definitely do a
no,
top
all I was going to
five.
say is that no one really
That
gives a
is
shit.
brilliant. Shut up. Mandalorian is incredible.
But we'll talk about Jurassic Park for a
That is
minute.
definitely something we should do though. That's
Not a fan of the Mandalorian, I have to say.
Good
What?
work, Ronnie.
I've watched it
Germany
and it was
is
okay,
all
but
shit.
it,
It's surrounded by shit in a shit universe with shit people.
it's
No, I'm just
mainly
gonna
enjoyable
avoid
if you're a
that.
Star Wars fan.
Pardon? What's that, Ronnie?
It panders to Star Wars fans because it's like bringing back old characters and
You see,
If
this
you-
is
if
good
you-
because I'm on that side of the thing where I'm just like, I can't be doing Star Wars because everybody loves it so much. You two are like proper hardcore fans. Ronnie is actually the litmus test here because he enjoys Star Wars, but he's not an Uber fan. So he can look at it quite objectively and go,
Oh,
"Yeah,
losing audio."
bullshit."
To
So-
be fair, with the Mandalorian, I did think it was just like he was trying to get somewhere, but every episode was just a side mission. If you're playing a game,
Well, there was an
it was like a
overarching.
side mission every episode, and it did get a
Well,
bit
yeah,
like.
because
But it is brilliant.
the overarching
like-
thing was to get the child or baby Yoda or Grogu back.
I know,
to
but if you talk about like
his
the second
family,
series,
but
where he's
each bit
after
was a
someone,
step to
yeah,
get there.
I don't think that was the best.
I thought that was
Way.
good. I think the second series was a lot better.
have I just
when you
changed
say-
Ethan's mind?
No, I do really like the Mandalorian. Don't get me wrong.
But Ronnie, when you say mainly pandering to the fans. I don't think there's anything wrong with fan service. You know.
Oh no, absolutely not.
That's what it's for, isn't it?
The two people that
Disney
have
screwed
come
up on the
with
films. They've got to make them happy now.
I suppose if you're talking about what is the #1 movie franchise in the world, or second,
Did you know the
second
biggest
biggest
actual
movie,
franchise
then-
in the whole world is Pokemon? In the
No.
world,
Is it?
Pokemon is the biggest grossing franchise in the world.
Yeah, but it is.
Oh,
bet
with
it-
the
that
the
was-
cards
TV
and the games
series,
and-
the
yeah.
films, the
Yeah.
games,
Well,
the card games.
I think it was the big turning point in terms of games for me was, and Ronnie will know this because it harks back to probably one of the greatest in my opinion, the greatest video game ever made, which is Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
I do like that.
That year, that was the biggest grossing. It would have been the biggest grossing film of the last 5 years. It sold so many copies that it would have been the biggest and that was for me. I mean, I think there may have been other games prior. I'm not a huge expert, but there was a turning point when video games started to become bigger business than movies were, and that was like one of the big turning points. Everybody's heads turned, and they were like, "What the fuck?" The
And you know what-
production on it was. Yeah, did you ever play Vice City?
I did.
Do you know-
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a
Oh,
massive computer
loved it.
game person, but Vice City I did enjoy.
The Grand Theft Auto. Do you know what the most significant things about that was?
What's that?
18 rating.
Oh,
First game with an
cool.
18 rating.
Yeah. Was it the first game?
I think it was the first one. There might have been Phantasmagoria before that, but it was one of the first with an 18 rating. So it was
Oh, maybe.
not a game for kids.
Well, that's it
Yeah,
then, isn't it?
yeah.
That's why everyone bought it.
Yeah,
Not allowed it. It's one of those classic things.
and I think that's because it wasn't just about. It wasn't just the gore. Like most games, like Doom and stuff, was all just gore, wasn't it? It was a story arc. And
Yeah.
some of the story was you've got to go and assassinate a guy, or you've got to go and murder someone, or you've got to go and bang a hooker.
I suppose, I was going to say, all the like 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids wanted to go out there, shoot someone, beat someone up, nick the money, and bang a hooker.
Yeah, who
So they
didn't?
could say to their mates,
Who
yeah, I did
It's the
this.
free play as well, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah,
it's an
Just
open world.
doing whatever you wanted.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
so going between video games and film, I'm going to go back to the Mandalorian. I don't know if anyone's seen the Mandalorian gallery,
I've seen nothing.
which is basically behind the scenes thing.
With the drawings.
No, it's this. This is basically all of the cast and crew sometimes sitting around a table chatting to each other, going through things like the technology, the casting, and all of that. And they go through and one of the things on the technology one was something that they built called the Volume. And just watch that episode; it is incredible. So what they're doing now is they're projecting to these massive LED screens backgrounds, and then putting stuff in front and filming it, but the background's moving along with the camera. So as the
Shit.
camera moves around,
Yeah.
it
So rather than
actually
using
looks.
CGI,
So rather than using
it
CGI,
looks more real.
it looks incredible. I mean, just looking at the stuff they had on there, so it goes up like that and then along
Wow.
the ceiling, but it projects.
So up the back and then
But
across the top of you.
But because they're filming from back here, it looks like it goes straight up. So you've got some incredible scenes. Honestly, you should watch it.
I wonder if that's the new way of doing instead of doing green screens.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
I had
they're
heard
like.
that was like a replacement for the green screen technology.
Yeah,
I'd heard they've
because
got
I'm
new
saying the reflections that you get from green screen, blue screen sort of thing.
Well, you also
You have to-
green screens are crap.
You have to then take any reflection that comes off from that. You have to then go over the top of remasking
Right.
and stuff like that. This they can put natural light in
Yeah.
because it's in the background, so they want the reflection from those things because
Yeah,
it's going to
to
be
look more
reflecting what they're seeing. Honestly, got to watch that, and I was like, "That's incredible that this is the level of stuff now." I always thought directing and filming was just point to camera.
Well,
Done.
talking about Star Wars and technology, we're talking about Jurassic Park. I think it owes a lot of its success to Industrial Light and Magic, which came from Star Wars.
Yeah. ILM's incredible. They've done so much stuff.
Yeah.
They've
Well, it's Lucas again, wasn't it? That
so
was
innovative though.
Yeah.
I think that
The first film, they literally used they had no money, did they, to make the first film? So they just used props from old films.
They did, but,
To create
but they made
all
other
that.
stuff. Do you know
I
what? Do you know
suppose.
what Slave One was made from?
No.
So Boba Fett's spaceship
Oh yeah.
hairdryer. Honest to
Fair
God.
That's what I mean. It's just the things that they just
Yeah,
got
I mean that's good. I
because
like
they had
that.
no money. So the things that they
Blasters and
got-
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Old World War II guns that they modified. Yeah.
That's clever. I like that. I like being able to do stuff like that on a budget. I do think that's clever. But yeah, Jurassic Park's a weird one because again, you get your Uber fans of Jurassic Park. And
Well, the first one outrules them all.
the first one's incredible, and it obviously like if you're a lad growing up and you're into dinosaurs like I was, being a complete
Well,
loser.
no, you're a complete boy
A
who
boy,
likes dinosaurs.
exactly.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs,
so boy, dinosaurs, yeah, wrestling, done.
Dinosaurs, yeah. The first one was amazing. The second one was just like, it was one of them where, oh my god, that first one was amazing. Let's do another.
Which one was the second one?
Second one was the Lost World.
Lost World,
where the girl,
went back in
sees the
for-
T-Rex in her garden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
Because
they
they
actually
sealed
brought
it
it back
all.
with the third one where they went back to the island.
Yeah, the
No,
third one
see,
is
I didn't
decent.
like-
The
I
third
didn't
one
like
has got
the third one.
Sam Neill.
Because it
back in
actually has
again.
extended. They extend
Is
the
that where
island
he's-
as well,
yes,
because they go
it's
to
got-
different places.
They
of
go,
the
yeah,
island.
exactly
Yeah.
right. They go to that big bird cage with the
Yeah.
pterodactyls and the.
Is that where his niece is lost or something in the third? I can't
Yes,
remember
it
exactly.
is.
No, these
It
two
is.
people like trick him into going.
No, they are genuinely going to rescue someone
Yeah.
in the third one.
I
They're
don't
going to
remember.
rescue some. Is it fuck? I can't remember because they were doing like
No, because they tricked him into it.
Yeah. Anyway, so the third one.
Because they land the plane, and he's like, "Why are you landing the plane?" Because they tricked him into.
yeah,
they wanted him
he
to give a
thought, yeah,
tour.
he thought he was doing a tour. Yes,
Yeah, and they
dead
tricked
right,
him
yes.
into.
But they were there to find a missing person because they were
Those two, yeah.
paragliding, weren't they, around the island
Had his dad
to
and
see if they
his,
could
or his
see any
stepdad
dinosaurs,
and
and
the
it got
little
broken.
boy.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
stepdad dies, didn't they?
yeah.
It's
And
the
then
little boy on his own.
Little boy or little girl? Can't remember
Boy,
which.
because it's his dad and his mum that are going half back.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And
But
then
anyway.
then they did obviously the new ones.
So yeah, you got
Which were
Jurassic
brilliant
World.
as well, because it just brought back nostalgia, really, for
So
everyone.
for me, it should have gone. If they would have waited, sometimes how they wait to do a sequel,
Yeah.
and they wait the right amount of time. And we'll get onto my favourite franchise in a moment, which I mean, I suppose it was me anyway that I just love it anyway. So it was going to be brilliant.
It's Die Hard, isn't it?
No,
It's going to be rocky.
yeah, but when they wait enough time and then they go back, like they did with Jurassic Park, it was like the first one was so good, and then the second one was like, well, this is what Jurassic Park would. It follows it perfectly. You can forget the second and the third one because it goes from we want to make Jurassic Park and it went to shit because the dinosaurs got out of control, and then you got what's it called, Jurassic World. This is what it should have looked like once it's up and running, and it was the perfect sort of
So what you're saying is they shouldn't have done
sequel.
2 and 3. They should have left it and then done it.
Yeah, they should. I mean, obviously, you're never going to do that because then they did the second,
Well, that's
then
America
they did
though,
the
isn't
second
it?
Lost World, which is fucking shit. Which is because it's just the same stuff all over
But that's
again. It's
America,
just
though,
people,
isn't it?
Chris Pratt running around with dinosaurs chasing him. It's just it loses what makes a film good, which is like character and soul and like something that's deeper than just action, which is ultimately what sequels end up being. They're just like, let's do more of that, but do it differently with loads more money because the first one sold so much.
Bigger explosions.
We want
Bigger
more money.
exactly.
We've got more money. We want more money.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened with 2 and 3, and it's exactly what happened with the second Jurassic World. Those two, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, if you would take them as a duo of films, that's hard to beat because they are
well, it
very
would be hard
very,
to beat. There's much better films out there, but they're the two.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're the two to pick out of the 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are, and because they followed on. And again, we'll get like I say with Rocky. For me, it's exact. I mean, 1, 2, and 3, and I've said this, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. For me, is the best trilogy of films ever made. Fourth one is just great because it includes some of the greatest film montages ever, and it's got Ivan Drago in it. The fifth one we don't like.
We don't talk about.
It's my favourite movie franchise, and when I was growing up, I showed the kids like my favourite films.
But you wouldn't show us
I
fifth.
wouldn't
I've
show
still
them,
never
but
seen
They've
the
never
fifth.
seen it because I
No.
won't show it to them.
It's disgraceful.
And then what? 20 years later, 25
That's
years
the one
later.
with Tommy Gunn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, awful.
Then Rocky Balboa comes out, and me and Rach went to cinema to watch it. And I'm not going to lie,
You
I
did
cried
cry,
at the
didn't
end
you?
of it. I cried at the end of it.
I can tell you tearing up
I
now.
was tearing up at the end of it. I was like, it's so good. And then obviously they did the Creed films, which
Yeah, I was a massive fan of.
I really like Creed films because they're raw.
They
They're,
were
they're
perfect for
rocky.
what-
They're
yeah.
raw. They're real. It's Philly.
Is it Michael B. Jordan in it? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. The
I
one
think
that
it
did
is.
Black
Yeah,
Panther.
I think it is. No,
Yeah. Yeah, Killmonger into.
he's in
Black
Black Panther, but he's
Yeah.
not.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
but he's in
Black
Black
Panther,
Panther.
yeah,
Yeah,
Killmonger.
Killmonger in Black Panther. Yeah.
For me, I mean, I suppose it. And if anyone who's not seen it, if you or you think of the Rocky film, just go back and watch 1, 2, and 3, because people forget. Rocky is blown up into these montages and these soundtracks of all the amazing 80s rock that went along with it, and the Lamborghinis and stuff like that.
They're just
And the
sound bites.
cheesy lines. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Go back and watch the original Rocky. It's not about boxing at all. It's not a boxing movie. It's so well done and well written and well acted. And again, he's one of my favourite actors. Sly Stallone is one of the most underratedly good actors because he went through those 80s and 90s of doing shit like Cliffhanger and Over the Top and Cobra and all that. And they're all great. They're all
I
great
like
for
Cliffhanger.
they're great for what they are, but he's underrated. And then when you see him in like what's the one where Copland? He's brilliant in Copland.
Expendables.
Yeah, but
Expendables. But there's those few scenes, like that scene in Expendables where Mickey Rourke does the monologue about the girl that he sees on the bridge in Vietnam, and it's based on that photo of the girl in Vietnam. I don't know if you've seen it, the naked girl.
Yeah,
he's just a good actor. He's very underrated, and he does that old grizzled vet really, really well.
Like, so I mean, he'd be really good in something like a Rambo sort of film.
Do you know what? And again, they're like on another level. To be fair, they left the first three. Again, you see the same thing. The first Rambo, brilliant. Obviously, a massive sort of like look at post-Vietnam vets.
Yeah.
Coming back from
PTSD.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, I mean, I guess a bit out of hand, obviously, with him destroying the entire National Guard.
I mean, he went a little bit too far.
He took it too far.
He took it too far.
And the latest Rambo was okay.
His body count, he would be accused of genocide.
So what's it got the most body count? That or Commando?
Ooh.
Because Commando's got some body count in it.
It has, but you know.
And that was one of my favourite films growing up. I think I knew all the words.
But he does eat green berets for breakfast. And right now he's very hungry.
Well, no, I'm very hungry.
So we've got your favourite franchise, which is obviously Rocky. Ronnie, what would you say yours is?
Ooh. Tricky. I don't know. Okay. Do they have to be 3 movies?
3 or more?
No.
3 or more.
But no, just say what's your favourite
Yeah.
one.
If you go for 2,
more than one movie, I'd say.
if you go for 2 movies, Blade Runner.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Fucking great film that second Blade Runner was.
The first one was as well. It
I
was
found the
amazing.
cinema and it blew me away. That did. Yeah, obviously the first one's brilliant, but that second one, you never know when it's again. You hit the nail on the head, Ronnie. You make a brilliant film, you wait long enough, and then you sort of do the same thing again with better effects, better writing, or not necessarily better writing, but like what you've got to work with nowadays.
Ronnie, if you're going over 2 films, if more than 2 films, then like what we were saying, franchises 3 or more, what would you say?
Probably Mad Max.
You are a fan of the Mad Max. You used to love it back in when like the 80s films, Mad Max.
Oh yeah,
the old
they're brilliant.
and so on.
And they're so different.
Yeah.
The Mad Max films for a franchise are so different. I mean, Mad Max 1
They are
compared to 2.
They are. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I mean, Mad Max 1 starts off in normal, actual like suburbia with he's just a cop that happens to be a highway chase officer who then has his family murdered and then goes on a rampage.
It isn't this dystopian world.
No.
Yeah.
And then the second one's just way out there.
I'm going to go back and watch them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch 1, you almost won't recognise it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you've just said that, I was like, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
They were the.
I think Beyond Thunderdome is the one I remember.
Everyone
most.
remembers that.
Yeah.
The Tina Turner.
Tina Turner singing,
yeah.
yeah.
And the Thunderdome, obviously, with what are they called? Master and Blaster.
Yeah.
What would you say yours is then, Jim?
See, I'd like to say Star Wars because it had such an effect on me when I was a young lad.
So I'm going to throw this out there because I know that you two are massive
Mine is
Star
Star
Wars fans.
Wars.
So not allowed. If you couldn't say Star Wars,
I wouldn't say. Hang on, I would say mine. Even if I was allowed to say Star Wars, is the MCU.
Is it?
Yeah, because I've got 2 young girls. Well, they were young when it first started 10 years ago.
They ain't young anymore, James.
They ain't young anymore. They're now old, haggard women. But we watched all of those films together because they were age-appropriate sort of things, and they really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed. So we'd go to the cinema every time. It was an event every time, and it was really nice to do as a family. And they're really into it now. So we talk about obviously upcoming stuff and
So that's interesting.
Series.
So what
What
franchise
this
that
does
spans
and what
a
this
long
done.
enough period of time becomes more than just the movies.
yeah, it's
about-
it's an event now for me and my girls. So yeah, I think that's probably my favourite because of what it is now. But best films, I would probably say Star Wars, first 3, but then after that it's like, well,
now you've got to.
See, the thing with Star Wars is, if you noticed, everyone really didn't like the sequels,
yeah,
but now everyone loves them now.
no, they don't love them. They're
I
just
think
saying they're not as bad.
they're liking them more because they're seeing what now can be done, and it's awful.
Well,
So I
obviously,
think they're going
I
back to
think
the
the main thing
sequels
was
and
he
actually
didn't do 1, 2, 3 because he didn't have the effects
and the money.
and the money to do it back then. I'm hoping that in 10 years' time, someone's going to redo 1, 2, 3 the way they should have been done, because I think they were awful. Revenge of the Sith was probably okay, but the other 2, awful.
So,
films.
yeah. So now this is where I like draw a bit of a blank. When people say like the first 3, for me, obviously the first
three is for
would
you.
be
3,
the-
4, 3,
yeah,
5,
yeah,
and 6.
the ones from the
4,
70s
5,
and
6,
80s.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like the 70s, 80s ones. Is that
Yeah.
what you mean? When you
No,
refer to them?
prequels is the first is 1,
So
2, and
I refer
3.
to them in order. So it would be 1, 2, 3 is
The what was
They're
made
the-
after.
they were 1, 2, 3 in in
Chronological order. So episode 1 is your number
Sequels,
1.
sorry. not
Episode
prequels.
1,
So you think
Attack of the
episode 1,
Clones.
Attack of the Clones, and
Revenge of
Revenge
the
of the
Sith.
Sith are the best 3,
worst thing,
worst 3.
worst 3.
So
What, even to the new ones?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, come on, Jar Jar Binks. What the
Yeah, the first one, Phantom Menace, wasn't the best.
wasted the
But
character.
if you got rid of Jar Jar Binks, it's actually not a bad film.
Wasted a character. They wasted a
Like,
really good villain.
It actually brings everything together.
They
I
had to
think.
bring him back in one of the cartoons because he was wasted in the film.
Well, originally, did you know Paddy might have been supposedly being a Sith Lord?
Who?
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh
That was
no,
the
I'm,
whole
I'm
point.
talking
But
about.
because he got so slated, they like completely scrapped it.
I'm talking about Darth Maul. That wasted that character. Wasted him, killed him off straight away.
Yeah,
what-
they did, but
I mean,
um,
you look at the.
but then
4, 5,
if you watch the cartoon, have you watched the cartoon?
I have, yeah. Watch 4, 5, 6,
Yeah, it
and you've
brings
got
it together
Darth.
brilliant.
You've got Darth Vader from start to finish within that, really.
Because he's the biggest baddie.
Exactly. So you start off a new 3. You want a big baddie, and yeah, Palpatine's going to be there as the over.
But that's what I like about it.
He
But-
might be the greatest villain of movie history.
What Darth Vader is.
Yeah, he's got-
Darth Vader's definitely up there, but you want an available baddie and a big bad. So the available baddie in 4, 5, 6 is Darth Vader, and the big bad, obviously, Palpatine. You do 1, 2, 3.
But that's what I like
You
about
haven't got
1, 2,
you haven't
3.
got that.
Because each film
that available
is
baddie.
that available. There's a different available baddie. So you've got Palpatine in the first 1, 2, 3. The first one's Darth Maul. Second one's Count Dooku, and the third one's General Grievous. You've always got
Yeah, but
an available baddie.
But the
in each
reason you
different
build
film.
up with 4, 5, 6 is because you get connected to that character in Darth Vader. You don't get that in the others. It's like
So that,
It's,
I suppose that goes to the whole.
it's twin blade bang.
That goes to the whole build up.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's
Builds up.
you want to
Sort
be
of baddie.
a background for a character. You want to learn more about them. So Darth Vader, spoiler, Darth Vader being Luke's dad.
Did you know Vader's actually father in German?
Yes.
Darth Vader who?
Vader is German. It's in German translates to father.
Whose father?
Shut up.
But you've got-
taken a mick.
But you've got that build up of a character. They give him substance and background.
Is he Princess Leia's dad as well?
Yeah.
He put it about him, isn't he?
They're twins, Luke
They're
and Leia.
twins. They're brother and sister.
Luke and Leia. So you get that relationship. You get invested in that.
But then
character.
what I don't like
you
about
don't get invested
the
in
brand
any of
new
the others.
new ones.
True. But then
So
yeah, I get that. I do get that.
what is it? 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, you can't even remember can you
Yeah.
remember what they're called?
They're crap because with the character Rey, there's just nothing about her. Like she's just good throughout the whole film. She don't really need any training. She literally in the end of the third one, she could take on Palpatine that someone like Yoda, who's 900 years old and has learnt the Force for years, couldn't even do.
Yeah, but she's got women's power.
I mean, I thought you said you were a fan. How old is Yoda again?
Well, who knows how old?
You're a
he is.
disgrace.
But you know what I mean? Like with Luke Skywalker, there were each film, like the first 2 films, he knew nothing,
Yeah.
and he knows a bit in the end of the second one.
They did kind of explain that, and obviously I'm not going to excuse the films because I'm not a massive fan of the new one.
Well, I think the
But
first
they
one, The Force Awakens, is actually all
They
right.
did say that
The second one is
it will
crap.
eventually break out of you, and you'll learn to.
The second
to
one's
use it.
awful
Yeah, the
because
last
there
one.
was no story and it didn't bring anything together.
The last one is just. I mean, it's the worst.
Do you think? I think I liked it because it just brought an end to it.
I like.
You liked it because it made that was the end.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because I went with to the cinema with Ronnie to watch it because Ronnie didn't have anybody to go with, so I went, yeah, I'll come with you. And I'm not a Star Wars fan. I genuinely quite enjoyed that last film.
It
I
isn't
thought it
that
was
bad.
okay, but I'm not invested, and this is why I think it's why I'm not a massive Star Wars fan because I'm not invested in. It's like to make a film now. I don't think there is anyone who could make a film that would be able to. It's like Game of Thrones. It's like the last season of Game of Thrones. It was never going to please everybody. It was never going to because the fan base is so massive and people know it so inside out that you can't appreciate it because you're always looking for those tiny little niggling things that aren't quite right.
Well, see,
Whereas the last film, I thought, as a movie from start to finish, it had quite a good story arc. I quite liked it was it Ray and
Kylo.
and Cairo. I thought that was quite a good relationship. I like Cairo.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo. I like the guy that plays him. I thought he was pretty good, and I like it was quite a good just throw through space.
Do you know what I did really
a bit
like
exciting.
when Han Solo comes in, the last to sort of turn him.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought that was a
quite
really
good.
nice sort of.
Is that his dad?
It's his dad.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking incestuous, isn't it?
Well, it's not if you watch them.
I mean,
It's
if
normal.
If anyone's not watched them, you just said his dad's trying to turn him. That makes it seem very, very bad. Very bad indeed.
Kylo. Look at
Not
this,
trying to
Kylo.
turn him like that.
Bless him.
But yeah, so yeah,
So I mean,
4,
Vader,
5, 6
But going
are
off,
great films for me.
what about you? You think Star Wars is your best franchise?
but if I couldn't say Star Wars,
Yeah.
I'd have to go Harry Potter, to be honest.
You
Love
see
Harry
that
Potter.
we've not talked about Plopper at all, and Plopper is a really good it is a good franchise because
Stop calling him Plopper then.
yeah, I always do. Because it's chronologically really good. It's obviously been written by the same person all the way through, so you've got that.
Other than the fact that they don't copy the book, because obviously everyone.
Well,
that's
you
a big.
can't copy a book.
that's
in
a big
its
problem,
entirety.
isn't
This is it with the Game of Thrones sort of thing that you said. You know, no one was happy with the last season. Well, a few people were, but most people weren't. They've gone away from the books because the books wasn't available. The book wasn't available for that, and that's where, for the majority of all the other seasons for Game of Thrones, people could pick. Yes, I've read that. I like they chose that bit. I'm a bit disappointed they didn't do that. When
Did you
the
read
same
the
with
books?
Harry
Have you read
Potter.
the
I've got all the books. Yeah.
I've never read them, you see.
It's
I suppose
so
that's
the
same
last
with Harry
season
Potter, isn't
they
it?
made up themselves, and it just seemed really rushed. That's why people got annoyed with it.
Well, didn't they
and-
have to change it because it got leaked? The original got leaked.
Oh, I don't know about
I
that.
thought that was in the news like this. so
Didn't they
had
have
to
the
change
author
it.
though? Didn't the author, what's his name? RR, what's his name? Didn't he actually help with writing the last season?
I
So
don't
heard.
believe he did. No,
I thought he did.
Well, I
From-
heard
from what I
that he had
remember.
input.
Yeah.
because he's come out and said he's not ending the books that way.
Yeah, because I think he saw the backlash. He went, "Yeah, oh no, we'll do it that way."
No, I think he said that before it came out. He says they've gone for a different ending than I can't remember exactly, but I don't think he's ending the books that way. It just seemed like they just rushed it. But with Harry Potter,
I think every film is brilliant.
because old Rowling was, you know,
we don't
was she
talk
classed
about it
as-
now. We don't talk about it now.
Yes, we do.
Why can't we talk about it now?
Because
She's anti-trans or whatever it
Because
is.
she
So
came
we're
out
not allowed
as
to talk about
anti-trans.
her.
Yeah.
I think she said something about
Trans people. So.
using a trans woman using a bathroom or something. I can't remember. But,
Well, she's entitled to her opinion. Can't
she's
say we
a-
agree here, but
we're talking
That's
about
okay.
her as an author, and she's
Which is
incredible.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her being a consultant, or I don't know if she was classed as a producer on those films or whatever,
She was involved, wasn't she?
she had an input on all of them. But the people that made the films had something to go on
Yeah,
all the
that's
way
it.
through. They
All
had
the way through,
they had
yeah.
an
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
a
And they could
beginning,
pick and
middle, and end
choose.
for every film.
yeah,
Everything
yeah.
else they chose in between those bits
Yeah.
is their
Which
choice
is
as a
why it works so
screenwriters.
well, yeah. Well, so that is, yeah, you're right. That is a really good franchise. Harry Potter is really a massive.
And not just
voice in
Frank,
Harry
because
Potter
they did
world.
the. Have you ever seen Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
They're
Oh,
brilliant.
really good.
They're
Really
really
good.
good.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name? What's the actor's name?
Eddie Redmayne.
Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne. That's it.
I mean,
sorry.
He was great in
Theory of Everything.
Theory of Everything, yeah. He's a great actor, but I thought he was really good in both of those films.
And the Dutch Girl. Don't know if you've seen that.
I have seen it.
Talking
Where
of
he's a trans,
yeah.
where he's a trans.
Great film, that is.
Trans woman.
But yeah, Harry Potter's just brilliant.
It is.
I don't think you can fault
I'm not a
any
fan.
film.
I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. I'm going to be contrary.
Really? What? The
Yeah.
franchise generally? Have you read the books or?
I've not read the books. No, I've only seen the films. And yeah, I mean, I just find them annoying mainly. They're just annoying
Is
brats.
it because of the actors that are playing them? Because a lot of people are
Have
not
come
massive,
back now and not like that.
Yeah,
They've
a lot of people
rewatched
are
them
not a
for-
massive fan of Daniel Radcliffe.
I mean, it's nice to watch Hermione Granger grow up. Not gonna lie.
You perv. You
But
absolute
I'm
perv.
talking about
Very
Hermione
first
Granger.
one.
Oh no, that's got to be cut now.
Talking about Hermione Granger, people have actually gone back to watch them and said that she's the most annoying person ever, and they really don't like her in it.
Probably because
Just because of the character she plays.
Yeah, she was
though.
portrayed.
But she is an annoying
She
person.
was written that way
I
on
know.
purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Yeah,
no,
it's-
I mean, the acting in the first film was appalling from the kids because they were brand new actors,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And they were 11.
And they were
And,
11.
and nobody knew if it was going to be any good.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I mean, there
Oh,
were
no,
massive books,
The
but
massive
they
books,
expected
there's a
it to
good
be good.
chance.
But there's a bit. Look at. I mean, one of your favourites. Look at Golden Compass.
I mean,
Big
we
film.
don't even call it that.
No, exactly, but big books.
'Cause it's
They've
Northern
got series
Lights.
now. Did really well.
Yeah.
Brought the film out. Bullshit.
But that's because of the market it was being portrayed to. Because obviously there's a lot of anti-church Catholicism, sort of, Christianity sort of thing going on.
In America, yeah.
No, in the book, and they just went.
That's what I mean.
They just went no to that. So the Golden
So
Compass film was just a watered down, tepid version of shit.
Okay.
Whereas the way it should have been made would have been a lot better.
What actually is it about Harry Potter you don't like? Other than the fact that it's annoying.
I don't dislike it. I just find there's nothing that draws me in. I feel like a lot of it's just made up as you go along. It's like suddenly there's something magical that means they can't do this. And suddenly there's something magical that means they can get around this. And it feels like it's just kind of made up as you go along.
That's the good thing about magic. Because if there is something that you can't do, magic can sort it.
Yeah. It's been instant get out of jail free card.
It is a massive get out of jail free card.
I think one of the, like your generation, Ethan, obviously, you would have. I mean, how many Harry Potter films are there? 7?
Literally, it was the first film came out in 1999.
So that would have been like when you were first starting to really watch films.
Yeah.
No,
I think it finished.
When you were starting to watch films, you weren't even born.
2001. But yeah, and it finished because it's 8. So it'd be 8 years. So,
7 books.
So you could have, again, like you were saying with the Marvel films, I suppose, with watching them with the kids and stuff. It was one of those where you could, and we did, you could watch it and enjoy it every other year or so, or every year until it's.
Well, we did that marathon, didn't we? Where we watched it all and then went to the cinema to watch the last two.
Yeah, that's true. So you've got, and that I think that's when you're talking about a movie franchise, that's the thing. Like it becomes part of it's like a ritual. You get into it. You're looking at it all through oh my god, the new film's coming out. But like with Star Wars, and I suppose with Bond, everybody talks about it because it's the next this. Then you're expecting it to come out next because
it's such a big franchise,
which is what it did with Harry Potter was just.
But yeah, so with me and the girls, Emily was interested in it, Annie not so much. So it was more of a thing that me and Emily did. So I took her to the Harry Potter world and
it's brilliant, isn't it?
I've never
spent so long in there.
So good.
It's really good. Yeah.
They've updated it now since I've last been.
Oh, they've got the Fantastic Beasts in,
yeah, they've got the train apparently that you can go on. I think
they have that back there.
Although we've been to Whitby and we've been on the world's only steam bus, and it was driven by the guy that drove the Hogwarts Express. How about that? That was yeah. I mean, it's not. Because I mean, it's a steam bus, which is great, and the driver's just like Kevin.
Yeah,
just like,
his name's Gareth.
I drove Hogwarts Express. It's like, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
But the bus, I don't think they ride it and do it anymore. But the steam powered bus is good because it's like a little train. It's like you see the flames coming up through the front opening. It's brilliant.
So
I've got a question for you.
Oh, far away.
What franchise would you most likely to be another film in?
To see another film in?
Yeah.
Like what you think is going to be like come out the next?
Oh yeah. Which franchise film are you most looking forward to next?
Oh, looking forward to.
Or would like to see resurrected.
Either. Go on, either.
So I'm really looking forward to, because I can't wait to see it. The next Fantastic Beasts film.
The third one, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's the final one in that series, but if it is, then it's going to be a fight between Dumbledore and Grindelwald.
And not only that, they've got now, with all the situation with Johnny Depp, he's not in it anymore.
Yeah. So they're going to have
a whole new actor playing Johnny Depp's
Well, they could just bring Colin Farrell back and just say he got stuck in Polyjuice. But the big fight between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, which you really got out in the books, which is a bit like, it's a
I really like how they brought Grindelwald in it.
Yeah.
Because they mention him, don't they, in the last two films? Sort of the last two films, like a little, and now they've actually But
he's all the way through the books, isn't it? So
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that one, and I also want to see whatever comes out next in the Marvel one, because it's just been so long.
Black Widow probably will be the next.
Black Widow probably. Probably
yeah.
Black Widow.
Spider-Man, I bet.
Yeah. And I want to see what they do with her in regards to obviously being dead now.
I really want to see, because I know that it was always in the pipeline thinking, but obviously with the tragic death of, this is going to sound really bad, but I can't remember his name.
Chadwick
Boseman.
Yes.
Yes.
The next Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because that was such a powerful film when it first came out for many reasons. To see how they twist him not being there anymore, I think that'll be good.
They've either got a couple of ways of playing that, haven't they? Just saying he was off on a mission, he died.
Yeah, but
here's your new Black Panther, and just glossing over it as a subject.
I don't think they will, because he was such a powerful guy, and because he was such a powerful character, and the film crossed so many boundaries, and it did so much for sort of the black community and for sort of like bringing awareness to sort of black people in Hollywood and stuff like that. I think they and they will, because I don't know if you ever listened to the film review with Mark Commode and Simon Mayo, but they played, after he died, they played a few interviews of, he's so fucking smart and so clever and so like poignant. Simon Mayo would ask him just the most fundamental question, and he would he said it was about Martin Scorsese when The Irishman came out, and they were talking about Black Panther getting nominated for an Oscar, and Martin Scorsese said that basically poo-pooing a lot of the Marvel stuff.
I remember him saying,
the answer to this, and it was a throwaway question. It was almost like, he can do what he wants, or he can fuck off, or he can suck a dick, whatever you'd think the answer would be. And he just spoke for about 15 minutes, and it was the most sort of poignant, well-educated, like perfect answer to that question. And you just think, if you only ever listen to that, you just think, what a fucking guy.
Yeah.
It was such a good answer.
That's why I'm kind of hoping they just go, he died while he was away. Here's your new Black
Panther. I don't know. For me, I really loved it. I think they just make a massive fucking meal of it.
No, but what I don't want them to do is use stock footage, place his head on a Black Panther body.
You know they're going to do it. You know they're going to do it.
Exactly. I really don't want them to do that. I don't want them to put a body double in there and like take his head and plant it on.
No, maybe
and get him to do something to lead him to the point of like.
This is all one of the reasons why I'd quite like to see that sequel. I think just to see how they deal.
They do. They're gonna have to tread very carefully, because if they do that, I think they're gonna get a lot of backlash if they just.
I think they'll do it quite.
Flop his head on
like they did with Paul Walker.
Oh. Yes. If they get the right people and they do it in the right way, I think that would be a powerful film, and I think it would be quite a emotional film for a lot of people. Me as well.
Well, he had cancer, didn't he, when he was even filming?
While he was
Endgame.
No one fucking knew.
Well, he didn't tell anyone.
Only his family knew.
Yeah. He's a legend.
And his agent. But yeah.
No one knew until he died, did they?
What about you, Ronnie? What are you waiting for next?
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with one of my favourite movie franchises of recent times, which is John Wick. I'm going to see where they're going to go next.
Oh, we fucking forgot about John Wick.
No, I didn't forget about it. I just didn't think it'd be in the top 10.
Well, no, but I mean,
3 films.
In terms of recent franchises, that is a fucking stonker.
It's one of the few that I would happily sit and rewatch again and again.
Yeah.
What is your favourite?
Which is your favourite
of those movies?
Yeah.
Oof. Hard to say. I think maybe the first for the originality, but I'd happily rewatch any of them.
The first one's the best. It just brings you to a whole new world.
Yeah, it's
literally
Keanu Reeves,
the normal world. Yeah,
he's perfect for that. I mean, his career is incredible. He's had some great films and some absolute horrors. Yeah. But when he's in a role like John Wick or Matrix, he's the perfect person for that role. How dare you?
He's quite woody.
He's just very
and
that's why it's good for them.
But he's very like. He's dry, isn't he? He's just stoic.
Yeah.
But he's perfect for them roles. And he was great in The Matrix, and he was great in
the first John Wick. It was so. I watched that, and it's so unique.
It blew me away.
And the third one was just action upon action upon action, wasn't it? And I have to shout outs to all of those people in that third one, because if you watched, like, especially the last fight scene,
was it Parabellum?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's called, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they filmed that last sort of fight scene and stuff, but you can tell at some point that whether it's age or tiredness.
Oh, he got real tired.
But those stuntmen sold every single throw, every single fall, every single hit, again and again and again. They stole the show.
Yeah.
Because you could see that he was doing a bit and doing a bit and doing it, and then towards it he'd start to get a bit fatigued, and he'd obviously like pantomime the motion, and it looked great. But then the stuntmen would sell it every single time. For me, they stole the show for that.
Yeah, you know why though, don't you? You know why though? You know who the director of John Wick is?
Is it John Woo?
It's the stunt director from The Matrix. It's the stunt director from The Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it could be John Woo. There was no double gun diving, was there?
There was no double gun diving. No, that's true. No.
So talk about like franchises and stuff. What would you say of franchises where the second film is actually better than the first?
Aliens, probably.
Aliens
Terminator 2, probably. In fact, definitely Terminator 2. See, I would have this debate with the guy I used to work with, Glenn, because Aliens was his favourite film, and he used to say it's the best sequel ever made. But the first one is very, very, very good. But Terminator 2 is, even though the Terminator is good, Terminator 2 eclipses it. Terminator 2 is
Terminator 2, I
the
would say,
best
yeah,
film of,
he's better.
again, another franchise, but the best film by far of that franchise. By far. Terminator 2.
I think just coming out
is
Christmas,
incredible.
Home Alone 2 is so much better than the first.
Very true, yeah. Do you know
So
what?
much
They
better.
are neck in neck. So when we have Christmas, we always watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Is that what
Forget
he's
the
in?
rest.
New York.
Trump,
the second
is he in
one.
Trump
In
Tower?
Trump Towers,
Yeah.
that could
Because
be
Donald
better than
Trump's
the
in it,
first
isn't
one.
it?
Yeah, he is. Donald Trump is in it, yeah.
Why didn't he like smash a paint can into his face?
Did you know apparently it's recently come out that he actually forced his way into that film?
Well, what a
Of course he
surprise!
did. That's a surprise.
I'm glad you went
That's
into
why
it.
he didn't rate Macaulay Culkin.
That's so libelous. I was going to say, when he said,
Macaulay Culkin, Epstein, and Donald Trump in a lift.
we don't believe that for a
Really going
second.
to.
But when he said he forced his way into the film, I thought you were going to say Macaulay Culkin. Forced his way to Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, definitely.
But we don't believe that.
The
It's
first
just jest.
Yeah.
The first one's brilliant, but the second one just
See,
tops.
I-
His mates is
No,
so
because
good.
tell you what
Yeah,
really
that's
winds me
true.
up. That bloody bird woman. Don't
The
like
bird
her.
woman from Casualty.
From Casualty. Because I didn't like her in Casualty. I don't like her in that.
I like it, and I like the fact, and this is one of them things where people say, "Oh, it might say, oh, it follows the same," but I like the fact that it follows the exact same formula, and they purposefully followed the exact same formula. So he befriends somebody, and then he gives them some advice. Who's like you would think that a 10-year-old wouldn't be able to give advice to, like he does with the old guy in the first. And she like makes her life nice, and they become friends at the end, and she helps him the same way the old guy.
It's literally the
It's like-
same.
it's exactly.
Exactly the same.
It's a
but
carbon
it's
copy.
just-
They lift it out of where Chicago and bang it into
But
New York.
the end, like the whole, like all that stuff that happens to him is so much better than the first one. Like where he gets electrocuted and turns
Oh,
into the
you mean what happens
skeleton
to,
and he's screaming. It's brilliant.
I like the first. The first one's so much better.
Or when he has
Really?
when they throw the bricks at no, 'cause
Yeah, no, it's so much
The
better.
second, I don't know. I'm with Ethan. It's really tight, but I think if I
No.
had to choose one,
the second one all the way.
If someone says
choose
we're
the
going to watch a
second
Home Alone, I'll go. I'm going to watch the first one because that's Home Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you stand, Ronnie?
I'd say the second one owes a lot to the first one. It's a retelling of the same story. So without the first one, it's doesn't really stand on its own.
So it goes with the original.
Yeah, but obviously that because that's the whole point with all second films. But I still think the second one's better than the first.
But anyone
But
else got any sequels?
Well, you say that because
better
I
than
mean,
the
Mad Max again. Mad Max 2 bears very little relation to Mad Max 1 and is generally more popular.
original? Yeah.
Without-
Other
If
films.
Mad Max 1 didn't exist, Mad Max 2 would still be a very good film.
Yeah, it's by itself, standalone, really good
Yeah.
film. Yeah, really good films.
Jaws
I've-
2 better than Jaws.
Well, obviously not.
I've got another good question. I've got another question. What franchise should they stop making sequels for?
Saw.
Literally every horror
Yeah,
franchise.
they
Paranormal
stop
Activity.
every horror franchise. Stupid.
Halloween, Saw.
Oh yeah, there's another Halloween coming out
There's
apparently this
not.
year. Yes, they need just. I love Halloween. I love the original, and I liked the most recent one when they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis. We went similar to watch
We did,
it,
we did.
and I liked it. It was decent.
No, it wasn't decent. It was a Halloween film,
Yeah,
which it doesn't necessarily mean
but
decent.
then I suppose
It's a fun watch.
to play devil's advocate with a horror film. Horror films are, I suppose, quintessentially just quote fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're
films.
supposed to be like they're not supposed. I mean, there are some that are really quite deep. They're like that, like Midsummer,
Midsummer, or it's
or
great. Get Out,
Hereditary, or
or
Get
Us,
Out,
yeah.
or Us, yeah, or that His House.
Yeah,
You know, there's the Babadook's good.
Yeah.
Like there's loads that say more than they're actually saying.
see,
That are really interesting.
they're
horror films.
psychological thriller horrors for me.
Yeah,
A standard horror is
Scream.
baddie runs around,
Jason,
killing people.
yeah,
Jason
Voorhees,
Voorhees,
yeah, exactly.
Michael Myers,
Yeah,
Freddy
Freddy
Krueger.
Krueger, yeah,
You know, all
yeah.
those sort of people.
But
That's
I
a
mean,
horror film.
They just go over the top, don't they? They just keep making them.
I mean, I love a horror film.
Yeah.
I do.
Jurassic Parks. There's one for you, Ronnie. Jurassic Parks. Stop making Jurassic Parks.
Jurassic World.
All of them.
Yeah.
Because like, well, we've gone through it, but they should have stopped with that shit because
Fast and Furious for me. Get rid of it. I'm done. Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think now, yeah.
See, I'd go
They've brought like a
Pirates of the
spy thing
Caribbean.
out now, haven't they, like,
What's that, Ronnie?
Pirates of the Caribbean one for me.
Oh,
Ooh.
again, yeah. The first one was really quite good, and the second one came out. Oh, similar to the first. and then they just did another 2.
No, do you know what?
Sure they did.
The
It's like,
first 3 are the best, but the other 2 after that.
they did 5. There's 5.
There's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You've got.
But now he's not allowed to do it, aren't they? So they're redoing it, but as a woman. What I've heard, read in the news.
I'll tell you what we
let's get
didn't touch on,
political.
and it is a big deal, and I'm going to have to mention it because if I don't, there's going to be a very upset friend of mine. Ghostbusters.
When they remade it.
Well, as a universe or a franchise,
Ghostbusters 1 is phenomenal. Ghostbusters 2 is brilliant.
they've got the
And
one
then,
with the ladies,
then I sort of lose touch.
and then you've got obviously the new one with
How many did
Paul
they
Rudd.
make?
See, I don't like remakes with women. I find it's more of a political
You're
statement.
more
than-
saying pandering rather than
yes,
character.
there are many
character building.
films that you could do similar to Ghostbusters with a whole group of women. I've got no problem with women taking up all the lead roles, and all power to it. Some films that are all just women, I absolutely love. I've got no problem with it.
Bridesmaids. Oh, great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I need to say it. It's not like I'm trying to make a political statement. I'm not. I hate remakes of films that are already films. I hate remakes of films that are already films. So when they remade like Psycho, when they remade anything, they just
Basically, you got Ocean's 8,
yeah. Why?
Ghostbusters.
Why do an Ocean's 8 film? Why? And I know why they call it Ocean's 8. They didn't need to. They could have called it something completely different and not made it part of that franchise. But I suppose by
That was
tying it to that franchise, you know what you're getting, so you're going to get more viewers. I get why they do it.
that was a like a crowd. No, a crowd.
Crowdfunding thing.
Not crowdfunded. It was crowd like swelling on the internet that brought that to
Right.
fruition. I think someone put it on a forum somewhere, and it just went mental.
I suppose they know they're going to make money from it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't mind. I don't like to say any films
It's
are
definitely
fine. Just
political now,
don't
isn't it?
remake stuff, and don't remake it, and don't do it with just women or for why? I don't see why. For me, it's just, you're making a political statement rather than trying to make a good film.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, but that Ghostbusters is bad.
I've only ever seen half.
It's
of it.
good
Saw
that
the
they,
first
I
half and
like
was
that they
this
brought
is
the old
just not
ones
very
in as
good.
like little cameos. I thought that was really cool, but yeah, altogether it's not the best.
It's bad.
But they did
Yeah.
the same with like if you want to talk like Doctor Who, how they made now him a woman or her.
I mean, I
a
don't
woman.
mind that. I
don't
don't
mind
mind
that
that
at
because
all.
at the end of the day, it's an entity that travels through time and
bodies,
space
yeah,
and travels through
bodies.
bodies. So there is absolutely
It
no
regenerates.
reason. So I'd be all right with Bond being a woman.
And to be
Because-
fair,
because 007 is
It's just a tag.
it's
a
an
tag.
insignia. Yeah,
Yeah, if that became a woman, I'd be like, whatever.
I think it's a bit weird that Doctor Who's not been a woman so far, considering
Yeah.
how many different bodies he's got.
Very true. Yeah,
Say he's gone through.
statistically
They've gone
speaking,
through.
Statistically speaking, he should be a thalidomide in a wheelchair
At least once.
at least
a
once.
tiny
by now.
little baby.
A tiny little baby, yeah. An owl.
But yeah, you know. But Ghostbusters obviously needs to be mentioned as a great.
That is a great. Yeah, that is.
How many did they make with the?
They've got two.
I think they made 3, didn't they?
No,
Did
they made
three?
2, and then the remake, and then obviously the one with Paul Rudd that's just come out, and the young
Did
lad
I thought
from.
they just come out?
I think it's out.
I thought
Or
they did
no,
3.
no,
Are you sure there's not 3 Ghostbusters?
No, they did do a
Ghostbusters
redo
3.
one, didn't they, with the lad from
Strange Things.
Stranger Things?
Yeah. But I don't know if it's out yet because I've not seen it.
No, I don't think.
I think
it's
it's been
out
held back due to.
They
There's
did
no
They-
Ghostbusters 3.
They released a trailer.
Why do I think there's a Ghostbusters 3? Am I
Is there a
wrong?
Ghostbusters?
I don't believe there is.
We just
Can
can't
you
do
check that, Ronnie?
Yeah, Ronnie.
Yeah,
give us a check.
Look.
Definitely not Ghostbusters 3.
They wrote a script for it, Ghostbusters 3 Hellbent, but it doesn't sound
Which
like it actually got
was
made.
then turned into a video game.
Oh.
I think, yeah, there was a game. There's definitely a game. I remember the game.
Yeah, there was a
Ghostbusters
video
3.
game that came out, and I think they had the actors voice actors, video game, and that was apparently going to be the script for number 3.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but no, that's a great series as well. Well, 1 and 2 and 4.
Are we
hopefully.
still sticking with though that a franchise is 3 or more?
Yeah, so there
yeah.
will be 4. There's
Is there
currently
Would you
3.
class a remake as?
Well, it's in
Yeah,
there,
I
isn't
think
it?
it's
Yeah.
a
Ghostbusters.
franchise,
It's
yeah.
Ghostbusters.
The
Isn't
only
it?
thing that Redcon really was the entire story in the cast, but other than that,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, other than that, it was fine.
So,
What else? What else are you looking
oh no,
forward to?
what just what touched on earlier that I think would be quite an interesting topic is talk about Darth Vader probably being the best villain.
Yeah.
But is it any other honourable mentions? Who's people's favourite, or who do they think? I mean, I suppose off the top of my head, when I said Darth Vader, the Joker is like got to be one of the most synonymous. He's been played by a lot of
You're
different
talking
people.
about franchise villains now,
Just
though, or-
yeah.
Well, if you well,
yes,
no,
and
yeah.
no, just that's a good
So
question.
if you're going to
I don't
say
know.
if you're going to say the Joker,
Yeah.
then you've got to say which Joker, because there's been that many.
I don't think I do. Only
You-
because I think because that character is so strong, shows that he could be played so many times. It's not like he could be one and done because he's not that.
No,
Good
but when I say
character.
the person that played them, because each Joker is different. So you've got mental Joker, i.e. Heath Ledger, who has definitely got nuts
Well,
rolling around in his
Joaquin
head.
Phoenix for me in that film Joker was just eclipsed everybody.
I mean, he was incredible in that. But then you've got people like, what's his
Jack Nicholson.
Shining fella,
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jack Nicholson.
Jack
That was a
Nicholson,
brilliant joke.
who
Yeah.
didn't play him as a crazy man.
He played him as a gang, sort of a
more of a
gangster,
gangster sort
Yeah,
of villain
yeah.
sort
gone
of thing.
crazy. Sort
Yeah.
of thing.
And then
He's
obviously,
got.
what's his
We
name?
don't talk about him.
I don't want to say the other
No.
fella's name.
Jared Leto.
Oh,
Jared.
Jared Leto. Sorry,
Jared.
Jared Leto.
Awful.
You're thinking of Jay
Jay
Leno.
Leno, yeah.
With his big chin.
Jay Leno was a brilliant joke. And he was. He was a stand-up comic. He
Yeah.
entered a lot of TV shows.
But his Joker just
Dreadful.
But my
awful.
favourite villain, and it's only because it sticks in my mind because the thing is Thanos.
He's a great villain.
He for me,
But as we all know from the internet, he did nothing wrong.
he did nothing wrong.
He did nothing
He was
wrong.
trying to do good shit, and that's why I think MCU did really well towards the end of that series because they chose a villain that wasn't. If you look at DCU and stuff like that, and some of the earlier Marvel films and some of the earlier standalone films,
He's
is
saying he didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong in the films. Going in comics, it's probably a whole different story.
well, yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
but
talking
we're
about
talking-
comics, we're
yeah,
about
the
movie
MCU,
franchises. You look at all these other villains; they're all very. I'm going to just take over and kill shit. I'm going to just destroy everything. I'm going to, I don't know, make everybody a slave, whatever it might be. Because he got so much screen time, and you could see what he was, and he would talk about what he was trying to do.
Yeah. Oh, he gave you a reason for it, and the reason was understandable. Although
Yeah,
if you've got your Infinity Stones and you can click out half of existence in the entire universe,
So what they did really good with that is in it.
what you could also do is double the amount of food.
Yeah. I mean, let's not pretend there's no holes. Let's not
So,
pretend there's no holes.
what they really
People
did well
say
with that
he did
is-
nothing wrong, which is obviously what I've just
Add
done.
a few planets.
Old Thanos did nothing wrong, which is the
Within
external internet.
Infinity Warfare, they did well with the fact that he was only trying to wipe out half the population just to make it
Even.
even and good. But then with the second one, Endgame, he just does turn evil.
Oh
in the
yeah,
end.
just because
Because
wipe
he's literally
all
like,
that.
that's just
Yeah.
gonna wipe
that's very
everyone
good.
out.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
It didn't
Oh,
work, so
fuck
now I am
you.
going to just wipe you all out.
But he
Yeah,
didn't
that's true.
succeed, so he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But he did turn evil.
He did turn
Realistically, he did.
I mean,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
never
that's
he was
true.
never a good person. In his own head, he was, but he was never a good person because if you've got the
I don't know, he was picking veg in the start of the first one. If they wouldn't have had his head off,
if
I wonder
if he had the gauntlet, he could have made so
Favourite-
many better.
favourite Marvel superhero.
Superhero.
Yeah, favourite Marvel character.
I don't. I'm
You're not allowed, because I know it'll be everyone. You're not allowed Hawkeye.
Why would that be
Not allowed
everyone's favourite?
Hawkeye because he's so fucking good.
He is. I
You're
mean,
not allowed Hawkeye.
he can.
Do you know what?
Shoot
Fat
that bow
Thor. Fat Thor.
Fat
He's
Thor's
the best.
great.
He's the best.
Fat Thor is
He
good.
literally makes that film.
I'm going to say. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. The bloke that's made of rocks, voiced by Taika Waititi.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
he is good.
He is
Yeah.
incredible.
I can't remember his
But
name.
no,
either.
it's not him. It's his little mate. He's just got like
Yeah,
little
the
scissors
fish.
for hands.
The weird
I don't know
fish.
what
with
he is,
scissors.
but he's incredible. But I don't know if you can class him as a superhero.
No,
But the main superheroes, you would just say.
Korg is the stone fella. I can't remember the
Give it out of the main.
out of the main cast.
Yeah.
You've got to go with the. I don't know. I think I've got to go with Iron Man because he's just
Yeah,
a.
I love Iron Man.
Ronnie.
And the late ones, I really like Captain Marvel.
Ronnie, let me guess. Yours is Deadpool.
Ed Deadpool, yeah, who is officially
He's not
technically
MCU,
Marvel
is he?
now. He is now officially.
Ronnie loves Deadpool. Ronnie is
Oh, he
Deadpool.
will be once his film's made.
Yeah.
You know, number 3's been announced today.
But no,
Yeah.
let's go the
Has it?
whole MCU. So MCU, forget who owns what franchise, whatever it is. It's a Marvel comic and it's been made into a film, so it's included.
So favourite character, or has it got to be superhero?
Mine's got to be Fat
Character,
Thor.
I think character.
Favourite character.
Just
Yeah.
Thor in general. You know when he just gets more comedic or whatever you call it.
He does go through a good
In
change.
Ragnarok.
He does
Yeah,
go through a good
he's
change.
brilliant.
Thor. He
But
goes
that's
from
again
being
titled
an
Constitutes,
arsehole to being quite humble. to being really funny.
Yeah.
And I think he does go through the whole
To
gambit.
depressed, to
To
just
depre-
fat.
Yeah.
Go on, Ronnie.
Sorry?
Deadpool. We sticking with Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool, yeah. No question.
So talking about Marvel and franchise and that, who is the best actor for Spider-Man?
I
The
think
big
Tom,
question.
I think Tom Holland's
But I
done a
really liked
fantastic
Andrew
job.
Garfield. When Andrew Garfield did it, I really liked him.
So when you look at it, I think Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker. I think he's perfect.
I think
As
Peter
Peter
Parker.
Parker.
Forget Spider-Man, Batman, because Batman's had way more actors. Who's been the best Batman?
Val
'Cause
Kilmer.
everyone says Christian Bale, but you take Christian Bale out of those films and you put any other actor in, they're just as good. Because Christian Bale brings nothing, I'm afraid, brings nothing to that.
How dare you?
the
He's
first-
got a gravelly voice.
Exactly. I mean, it's all about the direction. It's all about how they were made. It's all about Heath Ledger in the second one.
Yeah.
The first one was never deemed that great
Well,
with Liam Neeson.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that
It's
one.
a great film, but it was never big. It was only when The Dark Knight came out that it was big.
Yeah.
And then you jump to The Dark Knight Rises, and Tom Hardy gets all the credit for his.
baby.
So, I mean, I don't think he's that great.
Do you know what was
I
quite
have to say,
underrated
I
film?
really liked Ben Affleck.
Batman, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Batman
Yeah,
vs
Ben
Superman
Affleck.
was such an underrated film.
No, it wasn't. It was awful.
These two hate it. I'm sure they
Awful,
do.
awful
Why,
film.
though?
I rewatched it recently because I thought I'd give it a hard time.
No, I liked
It's
it.
still really bad.
It's not. I
Awful.
liked it. I thought it was a good
So
film.
I mean, if he's been tasked with killing Batman by Lex Luthor and he don't want to do it, and he goes and talks to him, I know we need to do this, and then he goes, all right, we can't do it, fair enough. All he has to do, he's melted him. He cuts him in half with his eyes.
See, that's
Why
what
does he try and
everyone's-
beat him up?
That's what everyone's thinking. If you go to the comic books, Batman always wins.
But I think that's, and I read a theory somewhere that said the reason Batman always wins is because Superman is so powerful, but he's such a good person that he can never be seen to be destroying somebody who is so much weaker than him, because he can't be viewed as a bully. He almost like.
Tell that to Zod. He snapped his bloody neck off.
Zod was a Superman man.
He was, but it was in the trailer. He was like, you know what? Stop trying to.
Oh, good shot!
Stop trying to laser eye those people. They're cowering
That's
in the corner.
why, though.
All right, don't bang. Done. You're
Try
dead.
to save a family.
Yeah.
That is true. That is
So
true.
you talk about
He's trying to
spoilers.
save his mum. He still didn't.
Still, going
He's
back-
trying to save his own mother.
Going back to
and go,
Spider-Man, not Batman.
See, when you talk about spoilers,
Spider-Man.
that movie, Batman vs Superman,
Three.
that
Yeah, but
first,
everyone now loves Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Ronnie's on.
that's why I'm lazy really weird because I start talking, you guys keep talking, it's really hard to tell. But yeah, talk about spoilers. In that Batman vs Superman, when we had that footage right at the beginning showing the tombstones of his mother, and it's like, oh right, so this is going to be something about his mum. And from the beginning, that name was like, it's like, well, that's going to be something about the name because they've never drawn attention to that before, and now we're seeing it full frame. Yeah, so it was obvious from like, oh, that's what did me.
And it's the worst as well, isn't it? To stop him being killed. Save Martha. Why'd you say that name? That's my mum. All right, carry on.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it.
It's
I
rubbish.
liked it, and I think it's deeper than that. I think it's like the most important name.
It was
Yes,
parts of it were good films. It's just the whole premise coming down to saying someone's mum's name being the turning point of the film just does, yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. And then obviously Justice League off the back of that, awful.
Yeah, that was
And
bad.
then-
I gave that another go the other day. That was shit.
Yeah,
Ben Affleck
I watched
is a
them all
good
again.
Batman, I think.
I do. I like him as Batman.
Yeah.
He literally portrays a dark Batman.
I like
that.
someone who's just pissed off.
I like the Batman he's portraying as an older Batman.
But
Yeah.
I think Pattinson's going to be decent. I looked at
Have you
the
seen the trailer
trailers.
for that? It
He's
looks
going to be
really
a
good.
detective though, and he's going to be the world's best detective.
But he's fucking in his bat suit. And he's
Oh.
killing shit out of people. Not like Sherlock.
Worst franchise. Twilight.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I wasn't
That
a
did
fan
put
of.
a downer on Robert Downey Jr., didn't it? Didn't ruin his career, but it didn't help it.
What? You said
Twilight.
Was he in that? Robert Downey Jr.
Not Robert Downey Jr., sorry.
Robert
Pattinson,
Pattinson,
yeah.
I can just see Iron Man in there. Just kill them all.
Robert Pattinson.
It
It
didn't
didn't
I
help
wasn't a
his
fan
career.
of Hunger Games either. I was like,
Oh, I don't mind the Hunger
Yeah.
Games. I just found Jennifer Lawrence
I suppose we're not the target
a
audience.
bit
for
whiny. The books are
Twilight.
great, but
We're not a
the
target audience for Twilight.
Twilight is definitely not the
It's
right.
for teenage girls.
It
And I
is,
don't
yeah.
mean to be sexist, but it's for teenage girls.
It's definitely for teenagers.
Well, it's right for teenage girls.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, the films are going to be based for them.
I like Shakespeare. Great franchise. Some good films come out of that.
Name one.
Romeo and Juliet.
Name another.
Which one though? Which Romeo and Juliet?
Macbeth.
Oh, name another one.
Um,
Begins with an O.
Henry V.
Has
Henry
has
V.
Lawrence Fishburne in
It's
it.
in Henry V. It's called The King. It's not called Henry V. It's called The King. It's on Netflix. It's got that young guy in it.
Oh, the young guy.
the young guy. You know,
Yeah,
the guy that's not very old. He's quite young.
But but old enough to be in a film. But
That's based on
Ronnie,
Shakespeare.
just tell me. Yeah,
That's
Ronnie,
brilliant.
Ronnie, tell me who plays King Henry V in The King on Netflix. He's really good in that. That's a great. Yeah, based on the
If you talk about
Shakespeare.
Romeo and Juliet, are you on about the one with?
Leo.
The
Leonardo
Baz Luhrmann
DiCaprio.
one, whatever it's called. I suppose so. Yeah.
That
Everyone
is
loves
actually
that.
quite good.
Yeah, everyone loves that. You know the best person in that is Benny Blanco from the Bronx. He's well good in that. He plays Mercutio. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the actual actor, but he's Benny Blanco from the Bronx in Carlito's Way.
Okay. Fair enough to know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twilight crap.
Twilight crap.
Twilight crap. What else we got then? Bit of trivia for you. I mentioned this the other day to your dad. Have you ever seen the Star Wars Christmas special
No, I
from
don't
about
think I want it.
1978?
Where he takes Chewbacca, goes back to his family or something.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Have you not seen
We'll
it?
never watch it.
You want to watch that just for Itchy and Lumpy? You need to watch that stuff. I don't know whether that's his sons or brothers. I honestly don't know. But yeah, Itchy and Lumpy, his relatives.
I can't bring myself to watch it.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Right, what else we got? Anything else film related that we're interested in? Anything coming out soon that you want to see? Don't want to see?
Avatar.
Yeah, one film that, and it's got that guy. This is like a proper segue because it's got the guy in it who played the king in Doom.
Oh, Doom looks.
The remake of Doom looks really good. And it's got the
Yeah.
guy who played the king in Henry V, which is one.
Chalamet, something. Chalamet. I don't know.
I'm not going to go over your head and re-Google it.
Oh no, don't do that. Can't go over.
I'm doing it. The King, 2009. It is.
2009.
2019.
Netflix film.
2019.
I've sent you the name on WhatsApp.
Oh, is it? Oh, you're right. Yeah, Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. You know him, you see him.
I'm gonna have a look. Oh yes, yeah,
That guy.
yeah.
He's the guy in Doom. Really good actor. I like him.
Oh, there we go. Right, is that about it?
I think we're about it. So
I've got one more
I
question.
think you enjoyed talking about. Go on.
Oh, fire away.
What actor do you think's been in some of the biggest, or like the most kind of big film
Samuel L.
franchises?
Jackson.
What
Samuel L.
actor has been
Jackson.
in the most franchises? Robert
Yeah,
Downey
but
Jr.
He's done all of Marvel,
Because he's been in loads of.
and he's
Oh,
done
Star
all of
Wars.
Star Wars.
And
then they are the
Die Hard.
top two biggest franchises.
He did Die Hard as well.
Die Hard.
Yeah, and Die Hard. Yeah, Samuel L.
Oh,
Jackson, without a
he's
doubt.
in all the Star Wars.
Yeah, well, he's been in the franchise.
He's in the franchise.
Right.
He's in the
okay.
first three.
Although
What about
Sylvester
Harrison
Stallone-
Ford?
Sylvester Stallone has done Rocky, Rambo. He's done Marvel because he's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Expendables.
Expendables.
Oh, yeah.
He is in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he only makes.
But I
like
think
a
Sam
cameo.
Jackson is the highest grossing actor. His films are the highest grossing films.
The Rock, isn't it?
No, because of because of how many films he's
Oh,
in. He's in all of like pretty much every film in MCU.
Yeah.
There's 22 of them. He's been in Star Wars, 3 of them. I think
But he's only like. I suppose he puts his toe in the water in a few of them, doesn't he?
yes,
It's not
but,
like
but he's in them. But for the highest grossing films, not
I suppose
necessarily
he
the
makes an
highest.
appearance.
He's the
I
highest
suppose we
grossing.
talk about
No,
actors.
if you're on about Star Wars, he's a big character in Star Wars.
But then
He is quite a big character in the
Yeah.
first three.
in the first couple, yeah.
Yeah.
Mace.
Mace
He had a
Windu.
cool
Mace
cool
Windu.
lightsaber as well.
Purple
Light
lightsaber.
purple lightsaber.
Yeah, yes.
That was a special
Yeah,
request,
yeah,
wasn't it?
actually,
He,
that's
he
that.
requested for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was I right? Is it Sam Jackson or is it?
I don't know.
or
I think
is it-
I don't have a definitive list, but I mean, personally, I think it might be Sylvester Stallone just purely for the ones
What
he's
about
done.
Harrison Ford? He's in all the Indiana Jones films.
Yeah.
He's in the 3
Star
most
Wars.
important. Well, he's in loads of Star Wars films.
Yeah,
he's in both the Blade Runner films.
He's had a good
yeah,
shout.
so he was recording that franchise.
Yeah. I'm sure he's in something else that's geeky.
Then you've also got Sir Ian McKellen, who's done the Lord of the Rings
X-Men.
and X-Men, which are both quite big.
What about who plays Sauron and he's also in Star Wars?
Vincent Price.
Is it Vincent Price?
Not
No, it's Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee. Sorry.
Christopher Lee, yeah.
I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, I do. I'm exactly the same. I always get them.
Hammer Horror could have
Hammer
been
Horror, yeah.
could have been a great one for the
Yeah.
franchises. Yeah. but there's a lot of.
That is quite a hard one, really. Isn't
Crossover
it? Hard
actors.
question.
Yeah.
I'd definitely say Samuel L. Jackson
Who's it? Who
because
is
he's in the
who
top
are-
two biggest franchises.
So the biggest franchise is Marvel. Who is in the most? I suppose it's Sam Jackson. but
Sam Jackson.
Out of Sam Jackson, who like bigger?
Robert
You've
Downey
got to
Jr.
say Robert Downey Jr. because he started it. He's in
Not
all.
Black Widow.
He's in Iron Man.
Not
No, Robert Downey Jr. is in obviously. just
Iron
about
Man
all
1,
of them.
2, 3.
Yeah,
He's in
sorry.
the end of one of the old Hulk films.
He is, and he's also in Spider-Man's. All of them so
He's in
far.
all the Spider-Mans.
how many Scarlett Johansson in? She's in quite a lot.
She only comes in it in a third of it.
Yeah,
Iron
and
Man?
she's
Or
in
second of it?
Iron Man. I think
Second
she's
Iron
in,
Man.
and then then she's in.
I'm
the
sure she's in.
Avengers one.
I'm sure she's in a few Captain Americas.
Yeah, but so's Iron Man.
So's
Yeah, but
no,
I'm sure she's in
Actually,
more
no,
Captain
not in Winter
Americas.
Soldier.
not in Winter Soldier.
I'm sure she's in Winter Soldier. isn't
she is, but
And actually, she's also in the first Captain America film because she's in at the end. You know, after the credits, where he's in his bed, he wakes up to her.
Oh,
not
yeah,
her,
she
is it?
plays the
Yeah,
nurse.
it is her.
Yeah,
She
she
plays
plays
the
the nurse.
nurse. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that.
But I don't think she's in any of the Iron Man films.
She's
in the second one.
The second one. So there you go. You see, that's quite a lot. And,
I think
and she's got her own movie out. So once she's got her own movie out, that places her in quite a few of them movies.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Are you looking for any? I know this isn't movie franchises.
of course, I'll tell you who's in the most Marvel movies.
Me.
Stan Lee.
Oof, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Twat.
How dare you?
No one gives a shit. He pops up in the films like, oh, look, there's Stan Lee. Get out. Fucking old boy.
You are a bad
Well, he's
person.
dead.
He's dead. I apologise. Yeah.
You
Well, I
are
apologise.
a very,
Yeah, but
very
they're
bad
throwing me.
person.
I get that. But that's like cameos. I mean, like real roles.
Nick Fury is in 11 legitimate appearances in Marvel films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I don't know.
Come on,
Uh,
James.
Come on, get googling.
Damn. Don't know.
I suppose it's got to be Iron Man, hasn't it? He's in 3 of his own films, and he's in 3 of the.
You can say that about Captain America.
And he's in 4 of the Avenger films, and he's in Civil War.
Yeah.
So you got Spider-Man in 6, Falcon 6, Happy Hogan 6.
Who?
Happy.
Happy the
Oh
chauffeur.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Favreau, the bloke that
John
came up,
Favreau,
yeah, the bloke that came up and started it all pretty much.
He wrote.
Low-key
He did
six.
Mandalorian, didn't he? Or directed it.
He did, yeah. Vision 7, sort of. Pepper Potts, she's in a few.
Oh yeah. 'cause
Bucky 8, War Machine 8, Banner. Oh my god, let's just get to the end of this list because it's annoying me.
Get to the end of the list.
Getting to the end of the
Just
list.
pick out the top 2 or 3.
Just waiting
It's
for
going to be
this
Nick
to load
Fury,
up.
Iron Man, and Scarlett Johansson, I reckon, and then Captain America.
Okay, so 11 Fury, Captain America 11 times.
Is he?
He is.
How?
10 for Robert Downey Jr. So you
Hold on. So Captain America is in 11, the same as Nick Fury.
The first Avenger.
apparently so.
Eh?
Captain America, the first
Well,
Avenger.
Yeah, well, he's got a solo trilogy.
Well, I know. He's
All
obviously the
4
first
Avenger
but-
films. On top of that, he's popped into the end credit scenes of Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, and he's in Spider-Man: Homecoming as the public service announcement fellow, isn't he? Talking to the kids.
See, I still would have gone with Robert Downey Jr. because I would have said he's in more of the Spider-Man films as well.
He is in the Spider-Man films, but there's only 2 of them, isn't there?
I'd need
Well,
to see.
technically, he's only in one of
I'd
them.
need to see a list because I think that's debatable, and I'd need to see a list of the films that he actually appears in. He can't be in more than Robert Downey Jr.
Well,
Well,
he's
that
in-
is right.
He's in.
Because he
He's
is in the
3.
Spider. He's in the first Spider-Man Homecoming as he like talks about him while they're
Public
in
service
detention.
announcement,
Yeah. He's not actually in it,
Captain
but
America.
there's a
Yeah,
video
but,
of him
the first
talking.
Spider-Man film, so is Robert Downey Jr. in it.
Yeah,
but he's
so
not in the second one.
These are.
Is he not? Are you sure he doesn't appear in the second
He's
one?
died- he's died
Yeah,
in
but
the
he gets the
second one.
glasses, and so he's talking in it,
No, but he's not
No,
talking
he's
to
not.
Robert Downey
Edith
Jr.
is in it, which is the AI.
and he doesn't appear in it at all. He's
No,
not like a
no, he's
flashback or
died.
anything like that. I know he's dead, but it's not like a
I mean,
flashback.
There is a
Pictures of him.
flashback, but flashbacks of other films. I
He
think.
didn't star in it.
I don't-
So you got Steve Rogers in is 3 solos.
He has got 3 films.
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
who's the
Yeah, but
most?
Civil-
4 Avengers
yeah, but-
films.
Yeah, but hold on. Civil War also contains Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So there's only in 2 on his own, but Robert Downey Jr. has 3 of his own films that Captain America isn't in at all. Is he?
Let me go through the list and shut
Okay.
your mouth.
Okay,
So
excited.
you've got
shut
3
up.
solo films, Captain
Yeah.
America. Then you've got the 4 Avengers films, and then he's in the end credit scenes of Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, and Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
But then there's also a tiebreaker. He makes an appearance in Thor: Dark World via one of Loki's illusions,
Okay.
because obviously he changes
Yeah.
himself into Captain America.
So that makes him 11.
That makes him 11.
And what's Robert Downey Jr. been in?
10.
What about Black
Read
Widow?
8.
Oh, so she isn't.
Yeah.
So it's between Captain America and Nick Fury.
Yeah, so he's got obviously his own trilogy, 4 Avenger films. Then he's in Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, and he's turns up at the end, like you say, in the Incredible Hulk one. And that's his 10.
Is he in the Incredible Hulk one?
Yeah,
yeah, it comes in at the end scene after credits.
It's the one with Eric Banner, Ed Norton in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting factoids.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, everyone.
I really enjoyed
I
that.
think we'll call that franchises.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next podcast.
I think we're going to have to call it movies in general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We started off talking about,
Well,
we
yeah.
went
We talked
into
about stuff Shuffles talked about.
what's this podcast. So I suppose the purpose of this now is comment, follow us on Instagram. What's this podcast on Instagram?
I'll put the link in the description down below for you. I'll also put the link in the description for our actual podcast, whatever site that will be on. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like.
Yeah,
And
hit us up
comment
on
as well,
Instagram,
definitely. Yeah.
and hit us up on YouTube and comment. And you can decide what the next one is going to be about. Don't make it something stupid like water polo.
Oh, I don't know. I love a bit of water polo.
No one
Shut
does.
up. No one does.
Or I don't know, something obscure, but something we can talk about. We literally just chose movie franchises for the sake of it. It could be very generic. It could be a little bit more specific, but don't make it too specific because I suppose we cover a lot of age ranges here from 19 to mid
19?
early
How old are
40s.
you?
19.
I thought you were older than that.
Yeah,
20 in
so-
February.
God, you look old for your age. You haven't started a really tough playground.
Um,
We'll choose the best option from the
Christ, you got fat
comments.
for your age.
That's because I am.
Or choose the top 3 and then we'll put it on Instagram and people could decide what they want us to talk about. But that's it. We just talk about shit. So if you enjoyed this, I hope you did. Give us a like and all that malarkey.
We'll hope to get all the audio sort of stuff sorted for next time, if there are any issues with it.
Hopefully my Wi-Fi won't drop out.
Yeah, take care.
Good night, everyone.
No.